so here's an interesting quote panel from Chad Graff on The Athletic. The Patriots had grown stale before the Super Bowl. Final few years under the legendary Coach Belichick were exhausting. The lone season with Gerard Mayo in charge was a mess. Probably true. Vrabel looked around. His first day acknowledged the task ahead. In the process, Vrabel didn't just return the Patriots to prominence. He made the team fun again.
Well, that's you know what? What are sports for if not to have fun?
We did have fun. It was a blast.
Both sides have fun.
It was a blast.
Was it fun on Sunday?
Honestly, I'm at the age where I think just feeling is fun. That's like
Just having an experience.
Yeah, just going to like a sad movie and like that moved me one way or the other. All right, how should we remember this Patriots team? Fun, Danny? Losers?
I get why Patriots fans would find it fun. I think I will remember them as one of the worst Super Bowl participants of my lifetime.
What?
Super Bowl participants.
Yeah, as one of the worst conference champions. Yeah, like it was just, I told you all year, ahead of schedule. I think the best Patriots team is still to come. They have a ton of cap space. I think there's a good chance that they've got a better roster next year, even if they have a worse team. And when you combine the easy path, so yes, the schedule, and how lopsided it was in the Super Bowl, I started trying to put it into historical context. And they're on this list. It's just them and the 94 Chargers who got blown out to score fewer than 20 points per game in the lead up to a Super Bowl and then get blown out by 16 or more, them and the Chargers. And then in terms of teams that made it to the Super Bowl with, easy strength of schedules, they had the easiest path ever for a team to make it, and they had one of the worst blowouts in a Super Bowl history. And then when you add into the fact that they also, in the supposed second toughest game, the conference championship, got to play a backup quarterback, I do think it's one of the worst Super Bowl participants ever. I don't think that's disrespectful. I think that's belied by history.
It's definitely disrespectful.
I don't find it.
I mean, what does that say about your boy Justin Herbert? I mean, they had to go through Justin Herbert. So he's garbage?
It's about Justin
Herbert. I'm just saying, like they had to go through Justin Herbert.
I was on the ropes and you were just like the best boxing coach. You could.
I mean, seriously, they had to go through Justin Herbert. You said it earlier, maybe it was off the air. They had a legendary path as far as the defenses they
Literally
faced.
the hardest ever.
Literally the hardest ever. And they went through it. And you've been so high on the Bills, they beat the Bills. They went into Buffalo and beat your Bills. So I don't have all the teams listed in my mind. I know getting beat by 16 is not nearly even close to one of the worst Super Bowl defeats. We've seen teams beaten, give up 50-something points, but lose by 30-something, 40-something. Like I said, I don't have all the teams listed in my head. I just think that is a disrespectful way. I think this was a great year for them. I mean, they are ahead of schedule.
Well, yeah, it was a great year for them.
They are ahead of schedule. Drake May didn't play obviously great in the playoffs, but I think this is great learning experience for him. I think I will remember them, I guess, mainly as I think it was a great turnaround. From 4-13 to get to the Super Bowl in a conference with Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow in their primes. Great turnaround, great coaching job by Vrabel, and the beginning of something special with Drake May.
So I happen to think that what you said, Brew, and what you said, Danny, are not necessarily contradictory. I think everything you said could be true, Brew, about the turnaround, about the great steps, all of it. And if we were to stack up the 50 Super Bowl participants this decade and the 25, this century, pardon me, and we were to stack up the power rank, the 25 losers, that they would be closer to 25 than to 1. I think that's, I think that's true. But my answer is probably going to make Wilds madder than Danny, so I want Wilds to be able to go
No, I want
first.
you to go then. I'm the host of the show.
The odds are we won't.
Oh, remember this team?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, tell me, guys, your favorite 98 Falcons story that doesn't involve a cool dance.
I was going to say,
Tell me,
or
tell me the way when I was looking at the list, like, man, you guys remember the 76 Vikings? All right, I mean, they were just the teams on Danny's
That was the
list.
team Pittsburgh beat.
Or the first graphic.
No,
like,
that's
we got a
what
lot of Natron refried memes other than Chris Berman nicknames for the 94 Chargers. If they don't get back, they will not be memorable. So that's why I said I thought it'd make you madder. No. But I also think most Super Bowl, if you are a one-off Super Bowl loser, you're not memorable. Like,
here's the caveat: if Drake May goes on to become great, we don't necessarily think of the Marinos, that team in the Super Bowl, but we always talk, Marino got to the Super Bowl second year. Joe Burrow, we're still saying, got to the Super Bowl. So I get it. We don't think of the team, but if that quarterback's great, you do remember that he got them to the Super Bowl.
You remember that he got there, but you don't. I think Burrow's example is a great one. It's only been 5 years. How many guys from that Bengals team that are not currently on it, meaning other than Burrow, Chase, and Higgins, like, who was the best defensive player on that Chargers team? Who was the starting running back? Like, it all becomes a little fuzzy if they're not, you know what I mean? And so and I'm not guaranteeing by any means they're going to be a one-off Super Bowl loser. And the teams on Danny's list that we do remember, that is 71 Dolphins, you might not remember. But you sure remember the next year. They were undefeated, and they won the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? The 91 Bills were on there. In my head, I have to reverse engineer. What year did they play? Who were they playing in that Super Bowl? What I know is, though, that team went to a bunch of Super Bowls in a row. But the Super Bowl losers that we remember are either great teams that got upset, the 01 Rams, the 07 Pats, or teams that had won before and then lost.
I think that's
like
fair.
The Seahawks to you guys, the Chiefs, I think their Super Bowl losses are memorable. They got beat down, but also because they had won before. I just don't know that it'll be that memorable.
I think that's fair. I think, Danny, I'm surprised that you put so much sort of weight on a Super Bowl performance, because you were saying earlier, like, Super Bowls are weird. They're just weird games, and the Patriots were great all year, and they were great against in the playoff run. They played great defenses, and I never thought this game is over in 6 minutes like this one. And in recent memory, unless you're like, Jalen Hurts lost a Super Bowl and played pretty well. Brock Purdy lost a Super Bowl and played pretty well. Other than that, guys who have lost recent Super Bowls, it ends up getting ugly. Patrick Mahomes had 2 losses in the Super Bowls, were ugly. They weren't close. They were ugly games. So I'm looking at that glass half full of like, yeah, it's ugly, but like, I've seen great players have ugly games in Super Bowls.
No doubt. I just think that we
for the same reason.
Right.
Like, our offensive line is cooked. We're done.
Yeah, and that's definitely what unraveled that game. But I think all of those things can be true. Like, fun season, like the writer had. It was a tough path, but we don't tend to remember. Certainly, like 5 years from now, we're going to remember the path of the defenses that the Patriots played in the wild card round and the divisional round. Like that.
I'll remember the wild card round.
Seafood Tower. But like, at the end of the day, it was like, unless they get back or unless Drake May becomes all time, which he might. I think Drake May is going to be awesome. This team is just not going to stack up well to history because of the path of the whole season and because of the blowout in the Super Bowl.
I also think that, and we will just have to see how it plays out and what the general opinion is outside of this show and other places. I think you right now are out of step with the general public in how much credit Drake May deserves for the Patriots getting to the Super Bowl once the playoffs started. And
what do you mean?
So I think
he played bad in the playoffs.
I think most people feel like the Patriots got their seeding, got the 2 seed because of Drake May.
Yep.
And then got to the Super Bowl despite Drake May's play in the playoffs. Again, those getting the path or whatever it is. And so I think that the other quarterbacks who have been blown out in Super Bowls typically had awesome games to get them to the Super Bowl. And that mitigates some of the hit you take for getting blown out in the Super Bowl. And Drake didn't get that. Like, if Drake had Darnold's NFC Championship game in any of the games, round 2, again, any of the games. Or
If he played like Trevor did in Denver, which I was expecting, like, that would have been great.
Trevor
Lawrence.
Oh,
Trevor Lawrence was
in the
the
regular
only
season.
I think it was like 8.
Yeah.
Like in 18 games in Denver, one guy lit him up.
Yeah.
I thought Drake was going to be the second.
Yeah.
At the same time, I think the Texans' defense was the best defense in the league. Nobody seems to believe me, but I'm a D'Amico Ryans guy, I guess. It's a mess, but it sure is interesting. Top 10 Tuesday.
With friends like these.
That's a compliment.
Yeah.
Famous artist.
Bruce, wow, was super genuine. Ripping with sarcasm. Listen, after what I said about the Patriots, you might be surprised. Coming in at number 10.
Wow.
The New England Patriots.
I'm actually mad about this. Get us out of there then.
Again, top 5 cap space. Not top 5 quarterback yet, but potential top 5 quarterback. Everyone seems to love their coach. I think their roster will be better, even if their record is worse. We know the schedule gets much tougher next year.
Can't get easier, am I right?
Impossible to get easier. But coming in at number 9, it wouldn't be a top 10 list without the Los Angeles Chargers. Most important position on offense other than quarterback?
Obviously left tackle.
I think a lot of people would say left
yeah.
tackle. How did the Chargers get at both tackle spots this year compared to last year? They're going to get Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt back. This year they got 6 combined starts from the 2 of those. And their tackle positions allowed 166 pressures and 23 sacks just off those 2 guys. You get those 2 guys back, plus Mike McDaniel, plus the 4th most cap space in the NFL. Chargers, dangerous team.
That, to be honest with you.
Yeah, dangerous team for next year. Coming in at number 8, the Philadelphia Eagles. Can the offense be worse? I don't think so, given all of the talent. Losing Kevin Patullo will be a huge addition, even if they end up losing A.J. Brown. I happen to think A.J. Brown will be back. They're also the 2nd winningest team in the NFL since Nick Sirianni took over, so even with all of the noise, they just win football games. Coming in at number 7, my Detroit Lions. I just can't quit them. Injuries to the interior of the offensive line. They lost Ben Johnson. They lost both coordinators. They changed play callers in the middle of the year, and they were still a top 5 offense. Their defense collapsed down the stretch 2 years in a row. Throw some resources on the defensive side of the ball, have that sustain a little bit. Their offense should be able to carry them. I think they are still one of the best teams in the league. Coming in at number 6, though, the team that should be the favorites in the NFC North, though the odds makers say they're the 3rd best team, my Chicago Bears. Why can't the Chicago Bears be the best offense in football next season? Here's the core of their offense. They don't complete enough passes.
High percentage.
Got a lot of young players who are really talented, who all are nowhere near their prime. Plus, they return all 5 starters on their offensive line. Next year, the Bears' offense got better every month over the course of the season. Should be excellent next year. Coming in at number 5, Bruce Ravens. The talent is there. Jesse Minter with the Chargers always had them outperforming their talent level. Top 3 defense by yards, points overall in the aggregate. The last 2 years, he brings that talent to Baltimore. They were 2-5 in 1-score games this year. That should improve. Baltimore plays to its talent level next season. Coming in at number 4, this might surprise some people. The San Francisco 49ers. List of players on the Niners who missed 5 or more games. Nick Bosa, Brock Purdy, Fred Warner, Ricky Pearsall, George Kittle, and Mykel Williams, their first-round pick. All missed 5 or more games. Still won 12 games and a playoff game this year. But they were in the NFC West, missed out on the 1 seed at the very end. Coming in at number 3, the Buffalo Bills. In terms of a team that is just going to be good, since 2020, they're the most consistent team in football. Playoffs, they come up short, no question about it, but they have the best record since 2020. They have a playoff win every year since 2020, only team in the league to say that. And they've been a top 10 offense every year since 2020. They are the 3rd best team in the NFL. Coming in number 2, Matt Stafford goes back. They get the band back together. The Los Angeles Rams, pretty self-explanatory with what they were able to do. They also have 2 first-round picks this year, the Atlanta Falcons pick and their own. They had 6 losses by 21 points this year, the smallest deficit for a team with 6 losses, 2nd smallest in NFL history. And then at number 1, the champs, the Seattle Seahawks, as Wilds like to say. I should have taken more of a victory lap on them. In terms of a team that wins the Super Bowl, normally there's a lot of turnover. This is the entire list of unrestricted free agents for them. Guys who played at least 40 snaps in the Super Bowl. A running back, a nice player in Rashid Shaheed. We'll see if they can keep him. And then a couple of guys in the secondary, but not their best secondary pieces. And then obviously Clint Kubiak. So when you factor in also their, I think, 10th in salary cap space, they should be able to retain any of the guys that they want to. Remarkably consistent team. And Brew, I assume, perfect top 10?
No, I wouldn't go. I'm not even jumping on you for the. I just think you made an honest mistake. You forgot the Packers.
Oh, no, I mean, you can't have everybody in the top 10.
The Micah Parsons, I think, will be back next year, right?
Should be back, yeah.
Yeah, he should be back. They were rolling when they had Micah. Jordan Love, all of that, those questions we had about, is he just going to make us bad decision and throw the ball away? He did none of that for the most part this entire season, was great in their playoff loss. They were still, with all their playoff experience, the youngest team in the NFL. Packers got to be on there. I put them ahead of the Patriots. I'd put them ahead of the Eagles. And, I mean, their division is going to be jam-packed again. I think the Lions will be better. But the Bears, I think they're all going to be in there, but I think the Packers got to be.
They lost to the Bears 2 or 3 times this year.
Including in the playoffs. Yeah, I don't.
Did Micah Parsons play in the playoffs?
No.
Did not. Micah
And
did not.
the other game they lost.
Was there
Jordan
any
Love did.
plays that Micah Parsons may have affected?
I can't think of a single one. I can't
You
think
got
of
it. I mean, it's all right. You just made you absent-minded. It
just
just
an
slipped your mind.
honest mistake.
Yeah, it just slipped your mind. Packers got to be in. I'm sure you agree.
It's super condescending way. There's no explanation. Let's be honest. All right, Nick, go ahead.
1 and 2, you did well.
Oh, thanks. But it's a top 10 list.
There's at least a justification for the Bills at 3, even though they lost in round 2, they fired their coach, and we think they have huge holes at skill position. Fine. I can accept it. You gave a full list of how unlucky it seems like the Niners got with injuries.
Well, I don't believe that there's a substation that's causing all of the injuries like everyone on the
Okay.
internet.
Do you? Well, it's not just everyone on the internet. The GM said he's going to look into the data on it. Their star running back seems to believe it. I don't know if that's the case.
Still.
Here's
Those people are on the internet.
Here's what I would say. The reason, let's assume that electrical substation has nothing to do with it, which I think it probably has nothing to do with it. You know the reason why people are trying to find wacky reasons to explain the injuries? Because every year the Niners are the most injured team in football. So the idea that next year, them being healthy would be the aberration. What they dealt with this year is kind of par for the course. It's what they dealt with the year before and 2 years before that. I have no idea why the Ravens are in your top 5. None whatsoever. And I'm not even going to jump on you for your lack of faith in your own Chicago Bears, who right now you have as the 4th best team in their own conference.
I have to be able to move them up when they trade for Max
but,
Crosby.
Okay, but most notably, you really don't think the Kansas City Chiefs are a top 10 team. You gave one of these teams, I don't even remember which of the teams, you were like they were 2-5 in one-score games.
The Ravens.
Chiefs were 1-9 in one-score games.
Right, yeah.
That you really don't think the Chiefs are going to be one of the 10 best teams in football next year?
Well, they have the least amount of cap space of any team in the NFL. I know they can restructure Mahomes' deal and Chris Jones' deal. We'll see what happens with Travis Kelce. Chris Jones is getting older. We'll see which of their secondary players.
Older.
We are all getting older. That's true. But I mean, other than running back and pass catcher and pass rush, they're a great team.
Do you?
And with a quarterback who's injured.
So I'm just okay.
And the worst cap is
so you
position of any team in
so
football.
I'm asking you right now.
So it's a lot of holes to fix with the number 9 pick.
You really don't think the Chiefs are a top 10 team?
Right now, no.
And your justification, if I'm right, just follow me here,
Pass
for
rush,
the Bills
pass catcher.
is purely the strength of the quarterback. Because we know nothing about the coach.
They have the number one running.
You can't. Well, hold on,
They've
but
got a
you
better
don't. He
offensive
doesn't.
line,
Danny
better
wishes running was illegal. So it doesn't, you don't think the Bills have better receivers than the Chiefs. They don't, by any metric, have better pass rushers than the Chiefs. So the Josh Allen has earned the benefit of the doubt that just his power alone, they're a top 3 team. Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, not a top 10 team. I find it interesting. I also think you actually think they're a top 10 team, and they're going to quickly be in your top 10. That's what
Let's see how they handle the offseason, but also there is one more piece of data
Yeah.
that I have about why my top 10 might be a little bit better than
Why?
yours. If people could just throw it up there.
Why?
What's the accounting on this, please? Oh, yeah, that's right. I picked more winners this year. Yeah, I just picked more winners than you over the course of the season.
if that's top 10.
That's not,
Hey,
again.
we're not going to have picks this week. I just wanted a final accounting after the Super Bowl.
Regular, but this is. Are you
Oh,
counting-
this was not going to appear.
Well, we're not doing picks anymore, so I didn't know when to work it in, and so Nick.
see.
And the answer, just so you know when to work it in, would have been on a group text rather than
Just quickly, Danny, to
Just
break.
felt like the time
I know,
to do it.
just
I don't know.
as a bonus to the bonus.
Yeah.
Just be honest.
Yeah.
Are the Chiefs 11th?
They're in the. It's
Wild
rich
Rich
tapestry.
say no.
I don't think they're 11th.
I mean, the Jaguars got left off. That was tough. The Texans.
Dude, you left the Broncos off. I mean, it's
Broncos,
an awful.
the Texans are
Just
gonna
to
be
be
good.
honest, it's an awful list. But I was
I like
jumping
the
on the
list.
Chiefs.
I would love
piece.
you to do the exercise and not just be like, oh, it's the committee. I'm just.
Wow! Disrespecting the committee. Wow!
Take some
A lot of
accountability.
guts.
Take
The
some
best segment in all of
accountability.
sports TV.
All sports health.
This
Take
guy's
some accountability.
unbelievable.
Take some accountability.
This guy's
for your rankings.
unbelievable.
Marshall.
It's not left to right. It's a rich tapestry.
I'm just saying.
It's a committee. Take some
You gotta take us
accountability.
to break. before the
Yeah,
show
this
falls
is
apart.
mortifying.
Willie, what do you look at as the ceiling for the Raiders this year with the first-time head coach and the number one pick at QB?
Well, first of all, anytime a head coach highlights the building instead of the players, that's reason to be
The facilities are beautiful.
So that's reason to be concerned. Listen, this team was 3-14 last year, man, and now you have an opportunity to get a head coach who had a third-ranked offense, won a Super Bowl. So he's going to add some stability and culture, but you can't do it without a competent quarterback. I know they have Mendoza, but he's still going to need time to grow. I know they have some pillars on the offensive side, talking about Brock Bowers, DeGenti, but nevertheless, man, they have a lot of holes. This is going to take time. This is going to be a slow build. Hopefully they give him that. I know he has a long runway because of his contract, but I can see this team on the high side. I can see this being a 6-8 team. And that's just me being positive.
6 to 8 wins, you mean?
6 wins, 8 losses, yes.
Well, that would only be 14 games. Yes. I got you. Say
is
6 and 11. I got
6
you.
and 11.
I got you.
I got exposed again for my bad math.
I just wanted to be. I didn't know you were 6 to
Sorry.
8. My bad. I apologize.
I was
You never
gonna-
let me live.
I was
He's
sticking
not.
for facts
Brutal.
around here.
I mean,
apologize.
he tried to give you an out.
I
6
tried.
to 8
I
wins.
don't know. My kid's
didn't
always
do a
doing
good
the
job with
6-7
that.
thing.
I
It's
didn't
all
do a good
good. You
job.
were great. Go ahead, Greg.
So, like, the ceiling is interesting. I don't even want to put a win total on it.
I wouldn't either.
I'm just going to say they're probably going to still finish last in the division. Clint's my guy. I mean, we have a relationship dating back to my time in Minnesota. But when I listened to this entire press conference, I love what he said. He was very authentic. He was very honest about his approach, about what he doesn't know, what he possibly can do. He was asked a question about being a play caller and a head coach and how does he envision that working out. And he said, I've never called a single game by myself. I've always used my coaching staff as a collaborative effort. And in terms of being a head coach, we're going to find out and how that works. So when you have someone who's going to be transparent and honest, like also understanding he has work to do, he recognized that, he alluded to that. That division is tough.
Yeah.
That division is tough.
Well, also like this formula is tough. It represents a really high upside because if Kubiak is like McDonald or Ben Johnson or Liam Cohen, you can make a huge difference. And if Mendoza is a transformative talent, like that obviously can make a difference. But we were looking it up before the show. When a first-time head coach takes over a team with the number 1 overall pick, the team with the number 1 overall pick, obviously the worst team in football a year before.
Correct.
They're almost always bad. The only time we ever could find one that had a winning season was Chuck Pagano, first-time head coach, and Andrew Luck for the 2011 Colts. But that was such an outlier because Peyton Manning got hurt. Like that team that they won 11 games with, it had Freeney
Had a
and
lot of
Mathis
pieces.
and Reggie Wayne and
Correct.
T.Y. Hilton. Like that was Peyton Manning's team. He just happened to get it. Most of the time, it's like Kingsbury and Kyler, 6 wins. Ron Rivera and Cam Newton.
Right.
6 wins. Like so my guess is that they'll be exciting. They will show flashes of a ceiling, but they're not going to be good because they have such little talent right now, and both of these guys are going to be into the biggest jobs of their lives by far.
Yeah, it doesn't help that, supposedly Max Crosby wants out. That's by speculation, but nevertheless, man, they need a lot. I'm worried about bringing a young quarterback into that team with no O-line protection, right? This doesn't make sense. They're going to have to build this roster up, especially if they want to protect him for the future.
Rodgers has not yet informed the Steelers whether he will return for his 22nd NFL season, but my understanding is the odds are increasing. I am told Rodgers has spoken several times with new Steelers coach Mike McCarthy, who of course helped Rodgers develop into a 4-time MVP and Super Bowl winner in Green Bay. So Willie, obviously you were a former Steeler. Greg, you caught passes from Rodgers and played for Mike McCarthy. What do you see, Willie, we'll start with you, as the ceiling for this duo in Pittsburgh, if it in fact happens?
Well, it could be a late career masterpiece or expensive deja vu, right? Like, that's just the bottom line. Listen, it comes down to Aaron Rodgers is not taking those hits no more. He's not sitting in the pocket taking those big shots. So they're going to have to get a run game that can really work for him. Also, find a receiver number 2 outside of DK Metcalf. I mean, they have a lot of little pieces that can elevate the offense, but they don't have enough guys that can really impact the offense. Like Mount Washington was one of their big, outside of Gainwell, was another impact player for them. But he's not, come playoff time, he's not the guy you want to lean on, right? So I just think hopefully the meeting of the minds, hopefully they can elevate themselves as far as a game plan situation. But I think Aaron Rodgers right now, it's all about what he wants to come back for. I just don't know what's the reason for him to come back.
So to take a little deeper look into what Aaron Rodgers was, and I don't want to just make this a bad thing, but the reality of it is there are a lot of career lows, even with them technically playing better, based on what we saw his last outing with the Jets. And if we take a look at these numbers, I can't say that I expect this team to do anything other than possibly what we saw this year, have a chance to make the playoffs, maybe not, maybe get in, be right there. But when you look within this division, I mean, those numbers were really good for Aaron Rodgers. And yet, for his career, they're all the fewest.
Which makes sense for a 41-year-old quarterback.
But also because of personnel, though.
But which also suggests he needs so much more help than what is currently on that roster. To your point, a number 2, a running game, offensive line protection, even more than what it is defensively. You got to continue to bring back some of those guys and then be able to create those turnovers, get the ball back in his hands. Can he provide you with his skill set, his smarts, and execute in late game situations? Absolutely. But to rely on heroics from Aaron Rodgers to elevate everybody around him, that's not what you're going to be getting.
I still think that Steelers fans shouldn't be rooting for this. I think that I know you hate it. I know we're going to disagree on it, and then he'll announce that he's coming back. But if McCarthy and Rodgers are there, they're going to be good. Like they're going to be a competitive team with a very low ceiling. And I don't know. And since it's not a long-term thing and there's no path to it.
Rodgers is not a long-term thing.
Yeah, and we'll see how long.
McCarthy's going to be there for.
Sure, he'll be there for a few. But I would think if you want Mike McCarthy to develop the next great quarterback of the Steelers, you'd want that prospect to be as good of a prospect as possible. And in order to get that prospect, you need to have a higher pick in the draft. And so,
yeah, but I think when we have Ben on here, he kind of told you the Steelers sauce, if you will, to build the team up and then have a young guy be ready to go. I think it makes sense when you hire Mike McCarthy. One of his superpowers was to develop a young quarterback. They still have some things on the offensive side they can build up. So when Will Howard is ready to go, he's stepping into a Porsche. And
I think that you should try to shoot for a better talent than Will Howard. But this duo will win games. And then lose in the playoffs. I mean, 9, 10, 11
wins.
You
just want a shot at the table. I mean, not the best team wins the Super Bowl, right? It's the most opportunistic.
Well, that has been the tried and true thing for the Steelers for a while, and it hasn't worked out so well.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.